All right, we're on the air. Hey, assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thanks for joining another webinar on the big hustle, making it big in 2016. Hopefully, everybody had some good time off with family and friends. Let me just turn my phone off here. And the last video I did, we were actually in Costa Rica, and we had an absolutely amazing time with the family, bonding, and that was just a ton of fun. And then after we got back, we all got food poisoning. So I don't know, it might have been paying back for something, I guess, but alhamdulillah. So today's webinar, I've got Abe Arabi, and I'm going to put the camera on him, and we're going to focus more on him and much less on me. And Abe has been doing really, really well. Abe got in the game very recently, like myself, and like a lot of you out there. And hopefully you'll find a lot of inspiration. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post them on Facebook. I'm monitoring that, and also in Google Hangouts. And we're going to do a recording of this, and we'll make it available after and put it in the group and all of that stuff. So with that, let's do a quick introduction. Abe, I'm going to switch the camera over to you right now.
All right.
And, let's see, present to everybody. Okay, Abe, you are on. Say hi, say salam.
Assalamu alaikum. How's everybody doing?
All right, good stuff. So Abe, you're up there in frozen Canada, my original, my homeland, where I was from originally, but I chickened out, man. I couldn't do it. So I moved to Texas.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty dry, right? I mean, it's been a pretty calm winter, I think, except recently. I think it started getting cold.
Recently, it's been horrible. Alhamdulillah, this is the best winter I've ever seen. But the last couple of days were frigid. And then now today, subhanAllah, we'll get 2 days of like nice weather. The snow started to melt. And then on the weekend, it's going to be a disaster again.
Right. Yeah, so I guess count your blessings. Well, good stuff, man. So listen, Abe, I know that you are pretty accomplished, man. I'm pretty impressed with your backstory that you and I have kind of talked about a little bit. And you know, you've got a full-time job, and you're doing the side hustle, right? You're managing the free 45 minutes you have every day to get this business and build it. And I think it's really impressive what you've done in a matter of 4 or 5 months. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your backstory, you know, what you do during the day, when you got started, where you're currently at, and then I'm going to pop in there and, you know, ask you some questions here and there, okay?
Sure. Sounds good. Okay, bismillah. So my day job, I'm an engineer by trade, so I've been working with Fiat Chrysler automobiles. Hopefully you guys saw the unveiling of the brand new minivan for all the minivan lovers out there at the auto show, which is pretty cool. So I've been there for 12 years. So in a number.
Can you like hack a discount for the group or something, or what?
We'll see. Yeah, right. As long as I'm, we'll see how long I'm still there for with this Amazon business going, inshallah.
There you go.
So I've been there for 12 years. Right now I'm a manager in the quality department. But before that, I did supervision, I did engineering. Alhamdulillah, it's been a very successful career thus far. And then last year, I've always had a side hustle, like I wrote you in my note the other day. I've always had a side hustle, so I enjoyed writing resumes. I looked into even opening up my own job recruitment firm. My dad was into MLM MLM, multi-level marketing, so I dabbled in that a little bit, but honestly, nothing that I took really seriously, because in those things, you're dependent on other people. And then last year, I got this Facebook notification from a brother in Canada. He started a group. It's called the Muslim Entrepreneur Group.
Right.
So I came to understand later that this was an affiliate group where he's trying to get people to sign up for Amazing Selling Machine, which I'm sure you've heard of and your group has heard of, right?
Yep.
So I watched his videos. It's very interesting. He's talking about selling on Amazon. I forwarded that email to my dad just to get, you know, his take, to see what he thought. And subhanAllah, he had access to Amazon training, Amazon sellers training. And he forwarded me his login and password, and I started doing the modules step by step, and I was hooked. Like, I was instantly hooked, because It was just something I could relate to, and it was something that I was fully in control of. And then the rest is history. Like that was 4 modules. I was starting to do a lot of product research, clicking around on Amazon, finding which items I was interested in, contacting suppliers on Alibaba. You know how it goes. And then eventually found a product, got a sample, but I got to a point where I was kind of stuck. I had so many questions and I didn't have a group, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't have that support structure, and I felt like I was going about it too much on my own. And that's when I started looking around for Facebook, for example. I found some forums, I found some groups, and I ended up joining a startup, and that really put my mind at ease. And they have their own system, so I followed their structure. So with what I already knew and with what they taught me, alhamdulillah, that's what's led to the success today. And I could go on forever. So you ask me, go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. One of the comments that I get a lot in private messages and even on the pages is, hey, what does it take to get started? Mm-hmm. And you and I have both done that part of the journey already. Mm-hmm. And you kind of glossed over it, saying, hey, you got to do a lot of reading, you got to do some modules. Right. But I think most people really don't appreciate the amount of dedication, time, etc. Why don't you talk about that a little bit? Exactly what did you do to get started, and what did that effort, how much sweat equity did it actually take for you to get there? Because there's a lot of misinterpretation out there and a lot of BS marketing. 30 days, get your first product, and you can make it brilliant, right? So let's put some reality into perspective here.
Sorry, Naeem, I lost your last sentence there. Could you?
Yeah, I was just saying let's put some Abe reality over here and
sure.
Real story like yours. What does it actually take to get going?
Well, I can. I'm a living example. It takes a ton of work. There's no way to spin it. There's all these sexy, sexy modules out there that are trying to teach you, shortcuts and the easy way. But no matter what, you have to put in the time. My job, I'm at work 10 to 12 hours a day. I come home, the kids, I have to do their homework. They're in soccer, swimming, karate, and then we have to, I have a beautiful wife that needs to be taken care of as well. So after you do the family stuff, to be honest, it would be about 8:30, 9 o'clock where I'd buckle down and focus on the Amazon stuff. And it was literally a nightly exercise from like 9 p.m. until 1, 2 a.m. Right. So the sacrifice made by my family was huge for me. So a lot of reading, a lot of research, a lot of clicking around on Amazon, Alibaba, talking to other people, watching videos, doing training, taking notes. The sweat equity, I cannot underestimate. If anybody is thinking they're just going to join this and it's going to be presented to them on a silver platter, this is not the business for you. You have to put in the work. There's no doubt, every single day.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. And that is the reality. You've got 3 kids, you've got a wife, you've got your family, but you got to carve away some of that time. And I think one of the points that you made is you need to have an understanding with your spouse and your kids. And that's really important. At the outset, I'm sure you probably sat down with them and said, guys, I'm about to jump on a boat and I'm going to be, gone for like an evening. Like, you can't bother me, but I'm doing this. Here's the vision, et cetera, et cetera. You got to get some kind of agreement, right? It's not 30 minutes a night. It's some serious sweat equity.
Big time.
By the way, happy birthday to your daughter who.
Thank you.
You're like sacrificing time away from her and spending it with me, right?
Hey, my pleasure. She's actually, we're not having her party until the 24th for some reason, so it's all good.
All right, well, good stuff. Okay, so we talked a little bit about that. It does require commitment, just like any good venture. Yeah. You need to commit to it, and it's really a choice, right? Are you going to watch TV, 1 hour a night or whatever, and have some family time, or are you going to do this and sacrifice that and will your family support you? That's so right. we talked about that. Why don't you talk about the next steps from there, though? Once you learned the craft, then how did you go about actually finding your first product, and what happened from there?
Okay, so when I started, again, I told you my dad had sent me that training module, or the training modules. It was from a group called AmaSuite. So I got through 4 modules. They're really fixated on the bestseller ranking. So I've come to learn since then that may not necessarily be the best way to determine what product you're going to sell or what product you're going to select. I've since learned many other techniques on how to find products, but basically, just without overwhelming everybody, we're looking for products that are lightweight, that are very small, right? Small, lightweight, and easy to ship. Okay, and they cost between 10, some people say between 10 and 50, 12 and 50. And just by clicking around on Amazon in certain categories, it's very easy to find products that fit that criteria. Now, there's a number of other determining factors before you decide which product that you're going to move forward with. But my opinion and what I would encourage everybody to look at is it something that you can relate to? Is it something that you have, you can see yourself selling? Is it something that you're going to be heartfelt in bringing to the market? You know what I mean? Because if your heart's not in it, you got to love the product. Absolutely. Yeah. It's going to be yours. You're going to eventually stick your label on it and sell it as yours. So you must feel passion towards it, is the best way I can describe it.
So let's talk a little bit about your successes. When did you get started? And what have you achieved? And I think you said you were pretty comfortable with sharing your actual product, and you don't have to, but if you want to, you can share your product so that people can go and click on your page and check it out and see what's going on. Totally your call.
I can do. Do you want me to do that right now, or do you want me to do it after?
You can do it now.
Okay, so we're. I'm not the.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to bring it up. Actually, I can bring it up.
You know what? Just go to Amazon.com and type in Ramaka Solutions, and the lunch bag will come up right away. If anybody's interested in doing that.
So let me bring that up. Let me share my desktop.
It looks like this.
There you go, man. Cool. Cool. Let me see. How do I share my? Okay, I think I share my desktop right here. All right, bear with me. One, share, present to everybody. Okay, do you see my desktop?
Yep.
Okay, so for the viewers, hey guys, so this is the portal, and I just punched in Ramaka Solutions, and there you go, man, number 1. So obviously number 1 because it's
my
company. So you're doing a great job on SEO for your own company name. All right. So let's click on this.
Yeah.
And by the way, before you comment on this, hey, I'm gonna just make a plea to our viewers here. Guys, don't copy this product, right? Obviously. Abe is nice enough to share this with us, and with this you're going to get a lot of insight because you're seeing a real product. But again, please don't copy this product. Just respect his privacy and his business. He's putting bread and butter on the table with this. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So Abe, go ahead and talk us through this. Why this? What happened? And give us the story.
No problem. So when you guys are doing your product research, guys, you're gonna to be honest, it's as simple as clicking around on Amazon and seeing what pops out. So I can't give you the specific trail that led to the lunch bag, but as I was clicking around, they tell you that home and kitchen is a very popular product for the Amazon FBA model. And there is a very hot selling lunch bag, Amazon sponsored product. It's always the first ad that would pop up. Yeah. And it is one of the hottest selling lunch boxes. So at the time, I didn't have a program like Jungle Scout to tell me all this.
Right.
But it was right at the top of all the, all the searches.
Yeah.
Now, what jumped out at me was this is a hot seller. The price point was where I needed it to be. The thing that attracted me was that it was getting 4 out of 5-star ratings. Mm-hmm. That, to me, right there tells me that I have opportunity. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to keep going with the way I've chosen to take this Amazon model and move forward with it, but there's other ways. So I got into retail arbitrage just to learn how to sell on Amazon. That was the only reason I even got into it. I needed to understand how to sell on Amazon. A lot of people make a lot of money doing retail arbitrage, general clearance arbitrage, right? Piggybacking, right? And then the next evolution is private label. So I did the retail arbitrage thing, figured out what I was doing, and I moved right into private label. Okay, so I always knew that was my long-term vision. What I've chosen to do with this product and the others that I've developing is I'm finding products that I know are very popular, that have excellent sales figures, and I'm trying to make them better. Right. I'm trying to differentiate my product. So I will explain to you exactly what I did with this lunch bag. But like I said, the one that I used as my understudy was a lunch bag that was the hottest seller, that was getting 4 out of 5 star ratings. So what I did, I would then review all of the customer feedback. I literally spent hours upon hours reading the customer feedback and taking notes.
Hey, Abe, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to kind of show where your bag is popping up when you're talking about this kind of research. What kind of search for to see the category and field and your competition?
Okay, so if you just type in, instead of Romaka Solutions, type in lunch bag or lunch box.
Box, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so one, you see that one there with 1,089 1,089 reviews. Yeah. Okay. Yep. 4 out of 5 stars. Okay. So let's just say that that's the one that I decided to take a look at. Okay. 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 So looking at this lunch bag, again, reading through all the customer reviews, I identified about 10 to 12 product improvements that I could make with my lunch bag.
Yep.
Okay. So once I realized what I wanted, the next step is to source your supplier, right? So Alibaba.com, as I'm sure you've all heard of.
Yep.
You go on there and you start communicating and trying to find a supplier. Number one, that meets all the criteria. So you want somebody who deals with trade assurance. I'm not sure how advanced the group is, Naeem. I'm sorry, I haven't been keeping up with the training videos, but
yeah, I think we have a lot of beginners, and we do have experienced people, but I think we have a lot of beginners.
Okay, so when you go on Alibaba, guys, you're gonna be searching for suppliers. So I mean, when you're first starting out, it's good to find a product on Amazon and find the exact match on Alibaba before you get comfortable. You know, you gotta try to compare apples to apples. Okay, if you find something on Amazon, you'll typically find the same exact product on Alibaba. Okay. No, you're on Alibaba right now. Very good.
Yeah.
So when you're searching for suppliers, Naeem, if you go to the top of the page, you see these boxes.
Right.
Okay. So you see trade assurance, you see gold supplier, you see assessed supplier. I click all three because it's going to narrow down my searches to suppliers that I know are legit.
Yep.
No scams, no playing around. If a supplier deals with trade assurance, you have a contract that says if you don't meet specific criteria, that you will be reimbursed for the money that you paid them. Okay? So now you know you're not going to get scammed. This is 100% legitimate.
Yep.
Then you scroll down, and when you see the product that's similar to the one you want on Amazon, you just hit contact supplier, you write them an email. I use the standardized template,
yep,
you know, with my own spin, my own lingo, my own personality added. And I started asking, you know what, I'm interested in your product. How much would it cost me? Or I want to get started with a sample order is typically what I would say, of about 5 to 10 samples. And can you please quote me for how much it would cost for 50, 100, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. So you want to get a general idea of how much they would charge you for this product. And oh, by the way, I have these ideas, right? So dealing with me for these guys was probably a real pain in the ass because I had already identified a number of product improvements, right? But so at first I just started off with a few, and you know, eventually you get a bunch of responses and you start communicating back and forth, and eventually you really develop relationships. Like I have 3 people in China I've never met who I consider friends now, honestly. And my lunch bag supplier, his name is Jimmy Liu, and we communicate every single night on Skype. Every single night there's something to talk about with our business, but now I know him personally. I send him pictures of myself and my family, and he sends me pictures, and he's explained stuff about Chinese culture to me. Very, very awesome when you get into this business and the relationship you develop. But I digress. I'm sorry.
No, that's actually, I think, really important is it's this whole business, like most businesses, is all about establishing a network.
That's right.
Relationships, and you've got to have a solid relationship with your supplier. And I think all the guys who are, doing well manage that, and they develop great relationships. You get to know their birthdays and their families, and that's important because this product line hopefully will last a long time with you for years to come.
True. Inshallah.
And eventually you're gonna go to China this year, next year, whenever you go.
Yep.
And this person could be your gateway to many, many more products.
Absolutely. Okay. So where were we here before I started? When I went off on that tangent.
No, that's okay. So this is an example of, just as a sample of maybe kind of lunch bag that you would have started with, right? Similar to, and then you can see the profile of this particular vendor. Right. This vendor has been a gold supplier for 7 years. He or she has trade assurance, and all of this kind of, you can see they've done 83 transactions. There's a wealth of information on these pages, and then you can contact them. So again, there's a lot of different ways on how you can approach that, but I'm pointing this out just as you're kind of talking about what to look for on this page and where to go. Right. So let's resume. So you basically spent a fair amount of time in here. You obviously didn't contact just one supplier. You contacted a whole bunch. You went through a review process, and what happened next?
Well, you're going to get a ton of responses, right? There's a lot of people, they're on here obviously to go into business with people. And I probably, with the lunch bag, I would say I contacted maybe a dozen suppliers, and I got 4 or 5 responses back. And one of the main indicators for me is how fast did you get back to me? That to me is huge. That shows me somebody who's dedicated and ready to go. And there's people that responded literally within the hour.
Yeah.
And I think there was 2 main suppliers that I was communicating back and forth with, but there was this one, the one company with the guy named Jimmy. He was head and shoulders above everybody else, and this is, I'm going to proceed with the development with this particular company, and I stuck with them, and I never looked back.
So let me ask you a question here. You chose, when you look at the competition here in terms of lunch boxes, you can see, let's see, this one, the first one here has 484 reviews. Yep. The second one only has 57, but it's sponsored, and that's why they're at the top. Right. Everest has 1,000. This guy Wildkin has 1,500, over 1,500. Rubbermaid 1,000, et cetera, right? Yep. Now, most people would consider this category to be way too competitive to jump in here. Yep. But you just dove in head first, right? You're like, I don't care, man. I'm going in. So let's talk about that, because that's actually, I think, pretty ballsy. So what's your lesson learned around that?
Okay, so it's very ballsy. Let's get that straight. Yeah. I entered a very competitive niche, but again, my opinion and my model, I think, is bulletproof towards that, and let me tell you why. Okay. The differentiation aspect of my business model, I think, makes my business model successful in no matter how competitive a niche is. If you see the next 2 products that I'm trying to unleash, it's the same exact scenario. My next product just finished being inspected yesterday, and I'm just waiting for my product photos. It is probably more competitive than this, but once again, I was able to identify 10 to 12 features that I was able to change to make my product stand out above the rest. So I would caution everybody, that's an excellent point that you brought up, Naeem. If you're going to jump into something this competitive, you better have made a significant difference in order to impact the public. Okay, and it needs to come across in your pictures and in your product listing. Otherwise, I would recommend that you find a less competitive area to play in. That's my take.
Okay, so on Lunchbox, you're not showing up on the first page. What's the keyword, or where are you currently ranking and showing up? I know you.
I'm showing up on page. I ran out of stock 3 times, so I've kind of been my own worst enemy. But I'm on page 2, I believe. If you do lunchbox or lunch bag, I'm on page 2. But if you do something like insulated lunch bag or lunchbox, I believe I'll be on page 1, or a cooler lunchbox.
Okay.
I believe I'll be on page 1.
Gotcha. Let me try that. Okay.
I hope.
Well, it's dynamic, right? It changes every day.
It changes every day.
Yeah. Okay. Igloo. Bags.
Come on.
Packet. Okay, maybe page 2.
Try insulated cooler, maybe.
Okay.
There it is.
Yep. Here it is. Okay, page 3. And obviously, it doesn't look like you're doing PPC right now.
No, I am. I turned it off when I ran out of stock, but I recently turned it back on.
Okay. All right. Got it. Okay. So you mentioned that you have a bulletproof ninja Middle Eastern secret curry sauce. So I think you probably have perked up a few years. And you're definitely going against the grain, because every course on this, tells you don't pick something where people have thousands of reviews and you're like, screw it, I'm not going to listen. I'm just going to do it. So you want to share what your secret sauce is, or is that totally proprietary and not to be shared?
Not proprietary at all. And again, guys, I'm not an expert yet. I've learned, and I have kind of gone against the grain, but I still stick with the basics. So if you look at let's not look at my product. If you run, and it looks like you're running some sort of program there, Naeem, that's showing you the bestseller rank and the is it showing you sales and revenue and all that stuff?
Yes. If I go back, I've got a bunch of different add-ons to my browser that show me rank and all that good stuff. Yeah.
So I run a program called Jungle Scout. Okay.
Yeah, and I have that too. Do you want to run that?
Well, it doesn't matter. It's the basics. When I run Jungle Scout and I do a search for Lunchbox, okay, it's gonna bring up a number of listings. What I typically do is I'll rank them in order of sales or in order of revenue generated, mostly by estimated sales, and that shows you how many sales have taken place for that product over the last 30 days. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Let's just it'd be good to do so everybody can see. So you want to organize the estimated sales in order from in descending order.
Okay.
As soon as it's
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so now let's analyze here. So you guys see the bestseller rank. Now a lot of people talk about bestseller rank, and they say typically you want to look for something. Some people say below 10,000. Some people say between 2 and 10,000. Some people say below 2,000. Okay, to me that's gibberish. My bestseller rank is so volatile. Okay, it's to me I would avoid even looking at the bestseller rank. What I like to look at is the estimated sales. Sorry, Naeem, can you put those in order from highest to lowest? The estimated sale. There you go. So look at the estimated sales and look at the price. So look who number 2 is on this list right here. Sorry,
Mr. Ramaka. Yeah.
Yeah. So my product is showing an estimated 1,400 sales a month for an estimated revenue of $2,800. Look at the.
20,000.
Sorry.
28,000. 28,000. You said 2,800. You gypped yourself off.
Oh no, 28,000. I'm sorry. 28,000. You want to look at the price.
Yep.
Okay. You want to look at the rating. Okay, so you see I'm a 5 and the guy below me is a 3.5, but he's got a $3.18. So he's probably selling some Tupperware or something. Okay. Yeah. And then you want to take a look at the BB seller. So is it an Amazon product? Is it fulfilled by Amazon, or is it fulfilled by merchant? Yeah. You want to sometimes take a look at the number of sellers. Mm-hmm. And then the FBA fee is something, actually, if you're gonna take a product and piggyback it, it's important to know that too. Yep. So that was just a general overview of what's there. But if you look at the number of reviews, guys, 226, 460, 218, 257, 203. There's nothing that's like 10,000, 15,000. There's nobody that has this niche cornered. Does that make sense?
So just to distinguish here, yeah, it's not necessarily lunch box or lunch bag that you went after. You went after specifically a subcategory of that, which is the insulated or cooler lunch bag, which actually does meet the requirements of a good opportunity, because you don't have guys in here with thousands of reviews that you can't, compete with easily.
Very good. Yes. That's an excellent point.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
So one thing, if you guys, just look at the number of reviews. Actually, when I was doing the Jungle Scout training, now you might have watched the same video. Yeah. The guy recommended, if you take the top 10 sellers, right, and you add up the number of reviews and the estimated sales. If there's 3,000 sales, right? Yeah. How many? Yeah. That's 300 a month. That's 10 a day. 10 a day. If you can capture 10% of the market share, you've built yourself a product that's going to make you a couple bucks a day.
Yep.
Anybody with the right pictures and the right product listing and the right product can capture 10% of the market. All right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yep. That's a really good point, because if you see here, oh man, this guy doesn't have much reviews, this and that, but their sales are like, in the tens or hundreds.
Exactly.
It's not worth going after. You're not going to make much money because that category or subcategory is just not that popular. So that's a really, okay. That sounds good. All right. Well, that's good insight, man. So, but I'm gonna guess a little bit that this was your first product, and like you said, you got stuck at some point, and to get unstuck, you kind of just dove in, and I think a lot of new sellers do that. They just kind of keep spinning. I did, and then at some point they just say, "Okay, I'm just gonna pull the trigger, and we'll see how it goes." Right?
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. So, so that's really good information. Let me ask you a few more things. You shared some of the numbers here. I think you said you hit about 80K, and that's within 4 months, 5 months. You started in September, and we're in January, and you've got about a little over 80K in sales. Is that correct?
For the lunch box, the lunch bag, I've since September, I've just eclipsed 80,000 just in lunch bag sales. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Over 4,000 products sold.
And when you put that into perspective, let's put that into perspective. Yeah. When you think about business, most people say, "Hey, let's go open a business, right? A brick and mortar store, a franchise, whatever." So you gotta try to go and get funding or whatever for a couple of $100,000 and say, "Okay, by the way, first year, we're probably going to break even." I mean, what other industry or opportunity is there out there that says, "Hey man, start with 5K in investment or even 10K in investment, and within 2 months, 4 months, you can get 80, 90K in sales if you really work hard at it." I don't know of any other business that gives you that kind of opportunity.
Me neither.
Yeah, but it's amazing that you obviously recognize it, and now you're building on it.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Yeah, there's nothing else like it, and the satisfaction you get, it's yours. It's something that you've built. Nobody to answer to. You make your own decisions, obviously through consultation with others sometimes when you're stuck, as you said, but it's so fulfilling. This is hands down the greatest the greatest thing I've ever accomplished in my life. And it's just the beginning. This is one product, Naeem.
Yeah.
One
Exactly.
product, you know, the business is scalable. That's the best part. You can run the business from anywhere in the world. It's amazing.
I think that's exactly the point, is that there's so much potential out there. There are sellers out there who are not selling one product or a couple of products like you and me, but you know there's sellers out there selling thousands.
Yep.
And when these guys say they're making $1 million or 3 million a month, they really are. And you know, I'm sure you've come across a few of them. I've spoken to a few of them. So the opportunity is truly, truly just amazing. And I don't think this opportunity is going to be here forever. I think the moment to seize it is now,
right now,
in the next few years, because all these multi-million-dollar sellers, you know, they're gonna take as much of that territory as possible.
Yep.
So let's do this. I'm just looking at the time. I don't want to go on for too long. Let's see if we can wrap it up in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Sure. And there's some questions that came in. So we've got a question from Aslam Farouk. So he says, hi, Salam. If I wanted to sell a product, for example, in a office product category, which normally not used by daily home user, but item is selling very high volume, how do you think I can bring the review traffic? So I think he's asking, you know, if you want to launch in a office product category, which is not used very often by home users, but there is an item that's very high volume, how would you go about launching that? So I'll let you provide some advice over here, because you launched in kind of a high traffic category.
Yeah, so the review generation and what we call the initial sales boost is a very big part of this business model. It's very important for you to get yourself out there, put it that way. So I was a member of a private group, and our Muslim eBay sellers group is a good example. What you would do is you would offer your product for a discount, okay, typically $2. And Naeem, you know, the Dodge Deb Review Club, which has become very popular, which is excellent. Yeah. She does an amazing job. There are groups out there that do nothing but accept Amazon products at a discount in order to provide unbiased and honest reviews. So you need to find those people. So what I've learned now is I like to deal with a group like Dodge Deb's group, because that's what they do. They are Amazon product reviewers, and you know you're going to get the best of the best. Sometimes you may end up with a top 500 reviewer, a top 100 reviewer, which is amazing. So from a review perspective, I would go that route. Now, from a sales perspective, it's important to also get that initial sales boost, right? You have to get that traction. So for that, you could, you know, give the product away to friends. Not give it away. You have to sell it for at least $2 so that it's counted as a verified purchase. But friends, family, people in your Facebook group, on your Facebook page, anybody who's interested in receiving this product for this price in exchange for an unbiased, honest review, and some seller feedback, right? We can't forget the seller feedback. That's very important as well.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, we're kind of talking about this quickly, but each one of these areas, each one of these topics is what has kept busy 9 o'clock till 2 in the morning, probably for weeks on end, just on one topic.
Yeah.
So this is where the sweat equity comes in. This is where you ask questions in the group. This is where, we know we've been talking about maybe starting some one-on-one coaching and maybe a course in the group, et cetera. But this is where you've got to invest that time, a little bit of money, and really learn. And that's exactly what Abe's done and what I've done. Let me ask you some of your best lessons learned now that you've been in the game for the last 4 or 5 months. How are you doing things different for your next launch?
Well, there's a few things I'm doing different. I can share. I jotted some notes, so I want to make sure I don't forget anything. So number one, obviously, and that's what the group you formed here is. You got to surround yourself with knowledgeable people, experienced people that are available for the times you get stuck. I can't tell you guys how many times it's happened to me. learning to navigate around Amazon Seller Central. You know, not issues with your supplier, but sometimes your supplier may request something, or you may request something from your supplier, and there's some logistics that you need cleared up. Shipping, freight forwarding, the inspection service you use. There's a number of things that you're going to run into, right, as you move step by step through this program, and you need people by your side to help you. I mean, to me, that's by far number one. At the beginning, I made a mistake, you know, and you learn again. So as you're looking for products, right, there's a couple different products that you settle on, and you get samples from multiple suppliers. And here you are trying to jump in, and I'm like, oh, I need a DHL account. I need a DHL account. So I go sign up for DHL, not knowing anything. So they want to maintain, they sell you by telling you we're going to give you a 40% discount every single time you ship something with us, right? So I'm like, yeah, I got this sample coming. I got this sample coming, you know? So they broker everything for you. Right. And then the first product I got for one sample, they charged me $153. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? What the hell, did I just import gold? So that was a huge lesson. You don't need that. Just tell your supplier to ship it, and you'll pay them for their shipping. You're saving like literally most of the cost, 75–80%. Okay. Yeah,
suppliers have a really, I mean, they've been doing this for years and years. So yeah. Suppliers have really good rates most of the time.
Yeah. Customers, another very important thing, customer service, guys. When you get to that, when you get to the level where you're actually selling, treat your customers like gold. There is not a single customer that I've dealt with, and I've had issues, guys. I sell a soft-shelled coolers, sewing, stitching. There's a number of things that can go wrong, and I have a 3% defect rate. Right? Amazon recommends you're over 95. I'm at 97. So there's stuff that goes wrong with my cooler, but every single time a customer has an issue, I respond immediately, and I do whatever it takes to gain their confidence back and to build a long-term relationship with, hopefully. I send them free stuff, 50% coupons, free lunch bags, sometimes multiple free lunch bags, depending on how severe the issue was. I communicate with them. We exchange emails, very heartfelt. And if you guys read my seller feedback, there's a ton of these customers that literally would have left 1-star feedback, and they will erase it and give me 5-star feedback. I can share some emails with you guys. That is huge. That is huge.
So let me ask you a question. That is a lot of commitment. That's dedication, and that's showing love for your product and for your business. And I think that shines through when you deal with your customers. But dude, you got a full-time job. You got 3 kids. How are you managing to find time, and how quick is your response time? How do you squeeze this in?
I got a smartphone, so you know, I can sneak away into my office or into a corner while I'm at work, and I can, you know, I have Seller Mobile. I know my phone's going off every single time I get a sale, which is beautiful. And I got my Amazon Seller Central account on the internet. I just refresh it, and the seller feedback, you're supposed to respond to every single customer or seller feedback within 24 hours. I hope everybody knows what I'm referring to. I don't know if anybody's at that level yet.
I think we'll probably do some training at some point, but it's yeah. For now, we can just have feedback on sales and problems and any kind of feedback from the customer.
Yeah. So your customers, you want 2 things. You want them to tell everybody that the product arrived on time and it was as described in your product listing, and that they communicated with you, and that you are an excellent seller, and that they recommend you and they'll do business with you in the future. That we call seller feedback, and it's a 5-star rating as well. Okay, so right now I'm at 4.9 stars. The overwhelming majority are 5 stars. And you're supposed to respond within 24 hours. So there's this mysterious Amazon algorithm that determines where you're going to be ranked. And one of the determining factors is your customer response time. So I always make sure I respond within a 24-hour window. And it's usually less than an hour.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And like you said, if you're automating it and receiving the emails, you literally could be in Belize on vacation and answer your critical customer emails in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
while I was in Costa Rica, I'll tell you, one of the most amazing feelings is, being on the beach, seeing, like you said, seeing those sales coming in
Yeah.
on your phone or laptop. I mean, that's, what other business can you do that? Just take off and sales coming in, answer your critical emails, etc. So that's really amazing. All right, so I'll let you continue. You were talking about DHL, lessons learned from there, treating your customers like gold, and then I think you have one more big one, right?
Well, the holidays, you guys will see, inshallah, you guys all do an excellent job. And then gonna have
Hey, Abe, you're breaking up a little bit. Did we lose you? All right, we've got a little bit of a, I think we just lost Abe. So let me text him and hopefully he can jump right back in. I know he said earlier he was having a...
Are we back?
You're back. We lost you for a second.
Yeah, I was getting scared there. Thank God we're back.
Yeah. You were talking about holidays, and then I think you went on a holiday. So
the holidays are a different animal, man. They are a different animal. I was not expected. So probably a little premature to be discussing this, but when you have a product that is moderately successful, you're gonna hit it hard for the holidays. And inshallah next year I'll be a lot more prepared. That was a big lesson I learned.
Yeah. So I think the lesson there is just prepping for the holidays, extra inventory and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds good. So let's do this. I don't see any other questions, so I think we can wrap it up. I know some folks were trying to get in, and it looks like they had some issues. But again, we're going to make this webinar recording available for everybody so that you'll be able to watch it at your own leisure. And just to kind of wrap things up, Abe, I'm going to let you chime in with any kind of final notes or feedback that you want to make. I took away a lot of great things that you said, Abe. I actually did receive one of Abe's insulated lunch boxes. Went to good use. My 9-year-old is using it. I think he destroyed it, which kind of does with every bag we give him. But it was a quality product. I mean, and I did a review on it, but it was a quality product. My wife looked at it and we really liked it. So obviously you're hitting a lot of things really well. You've obviously researched it. Your photography is really great. That obviously makes a big difference. Your descriptions are really well. And these are all tiny, tiny little details that I know that are very, very important.
Yep.
And a lot of lessons to be learned around that. So do you have anything else you want to close out on? Anything you want to share?
Well, you brought up the photos and the product listing. It's another very important thing. So those are the two main things that your customers are going to look at. So I subcontracted the services of my sister-in-law for my lunch bag photos, and she had a high resolution camera and she set up shop. I gave her the bags, brought them over. She lives in the States actually. And she took the photos and then sent them to me. I picked the ones I liked. I did all the background removal. Fiverr.com. I suggest everybody get familiar with the services on Fiverr.com because there are some exceptional services. There are some guys that do some phenomenal work. So I had a guy touch them up and make them more HD. The lighting adjustments and all that stuff. And you can see when you look at my listing that the photos are a little doctored, but it's important for the image. And then the product listing, Naeem, this is very important for me. I love to write, but marketing is not my thing. Again, Fiverr. There's a lady that I can recommend to the group. She's done every single one of my product listings, this one, and then my next product that's launching. It's search engine optimized and it's keyword heavy. She is an expert, and I send her a description of my product. I talk a lot about it, and then I let her go to work. And for the money that she charges, it is absolutely worth every penny. And I know I've made some recommendations to people in the group for that too.
Yeah.
So I guess the takeaway is, you know, it's okay. You got to spend money to make money. Let's just put it that way. I don't have the time to be able to do all this, and I'm sure everybody's in the same boat. And those are just two very, very simple ways to save time and get better work than you're going to be able to do yourself.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah. And one more thing I want to bring up. So you guys, and when I say you guys, I'm talking about you and your wife and your family. You guys are involved with Islamic Relief Canada. Yeah. And, dude, my hat's off to you for doing that. I think that is really, really inspirational. And when we get into this game, any entrepreneurship, it's always identify first what your goal is. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's just super, super cool that you guys do that. And obviously it's a passion of yours. Can you talk about that a little bit? What is it that you guys do? And I know you have a orphan that you sponsor. Alhamdulillah, that's fantastic. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So the end game is making money is great. You know, we live in probably the best part of the world there is. And the end game, when you go into business, we're all in it to make money. But what you do with that money is up to you as an individual. You have to have a big picture mentality. And our big picture, obviously, there's a brother that always says, be Jannah focused, be legacy focused. And to me, building a legacy is through charity and through helping those less fortunate. So yes, I sponsor an orphan named Muhammad. He's in Somalia. I think I started sponsoring him a little bit over a year ago. So I get yearly updates on him, where he goes to school, what his family situation is, and all that. So alhamdulillah, that's like my fourth child, yeah, I guess. Awesome. And I would love to be able to sponsor a few more in the future. And then I also fund a water well in Africa. You know, it's not an astronomical cost, but yeah. I just completed my first one, and it services about 250 people, I think, in a small village, 250 wow. or 500. Wow. And we've moved on to our second one. So alhamdulillah, it's another excellent initiative. And hopefully you guys are seeing what's going on in that Syrian town called Medea. I'm not sure. It's just yeah. unbelievable what's happening there. Yeah. So any charity that you can go, I think through Islamic Relief, it said the Syrian Emergency Relief Fund. I think all the money from that is going towards that one devastated town right now where kids are dying from starvation. It's just unbelievable, the pictures that you see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the takeaway is, let's be thankful for what we have. I have healthy kids. I have a roof over my head. I have food to eat every day. And if we're going to run this business and not remember those, we're going to fill our stomachs and forget about those who are not able to do that, then we're doing this for the wrong reasons. I don't know how else to say it.
I don't think we could say it any better. And yeah, brother, that's pretty inspirational, man. My hat's off to you. It really hones in on the purpose behind this and why we do it. And yeah, it's great to have a Ferrari and Lamborghini. Nothing wrong with that, but
nope.
There's a bigger picture here. And right. So if you're fulfilling your passions and you've got an orphan that you're sponsoring, I think that is amazing. So I hope others get as much inspiration out of this as I'm getting. Aslam Farouk asked another question. He said, I would appreciate if we can set up an individual coaching with some experienced sellers. So, I am getting a lot of requests for that. And maybe Abe, maybe you might be interested in becoming one of our Muslim seller experienced coaches. Mm-hmm. So this year, we really want to try to help as many people as possible. So we're putting together, like I said earlier in the call, some coaching programs, maybe one-on-ones, a course that we might roll out. So we're kind of keeping a lot of that up in the air and doing some planning. We're talking about maybe going to China together. I think it would be awesome if we can get a group of Muslim sellers all going together and go to a Chinese mosque for Jummah.
Oh, yeah.
And food.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah, and go hunt down like Chinese hummus or something. I think that would be a really amazing experience. Yeah. So there's just so much opportunity. So again, bro, thank you so much for your time. Keep up the great work that you're doing. And a couple of reminders to the team here. Let me switch this back to me. Okay, a couple of reminders to the team. So again, guys, take the information that you've learned from Abe and apply it. Don't copy his product. Please, we want to be respectful. And I hope we don't see, 10 different insulated cooler lunch bags in the market next week. I'm sure you won't. And again, get inspiration from him. Feel free to ask him questions, me questions in our group. But again, just be respectful of his time. So I'm going to try to do these webinars on a regular basis because, they really help me. And I do this really as kind of a give back to the community. I received and learned so much from others, and this is my opportunity to give back, and I hope it's appreciated. Get involved, be the 3%, right? It's only 3% of people who actually do something. 97% just do a lot of thinking. So be the 3% and make comments in the group, get involved, etc. And there's absolutely no reason why you cannot start with your first product in January, do your research, and 30 to 45 days out, get your product landed over here and just crush it. There's absolutely no reason. Yep. And inshallah, we'll talk about one-on-one coaching and all that kind of stuff over the next few weeks. All right, thank you very much for your time. Please share this webinar with your friends and family and your network and drive more people here. The more support we can get, the more of this kind of stuff that I can do. All right, have yourself a good evening, and we will chat again very soon. Thanks a lot, Abe. Take care.
My pleasure. Salam.
All right. Bye.
Bye.